Boom! All right, Kenman here. Today we have a marbles. This is one of the final knives from the nvalley Neil's collection. He sent me a bunch of cool knives to check out, share with all of you. This one is different. Marbles. What have we heard about this company? Quality knives. There's the info on the box for you. MR204 from Marbles. They've been around for a while. They make a lot of interesting, cool stuff. Let's check out what Neil sent us. Nice pouch. Ooh, it's got the extra squish to it. Alright. There is the knife. Here we are. This is the Marbles MR204 Brown Stag Bone Safety Folding Knife. Check it out before we open it up here. I have looked at a few other knives with this kind of style before. You can see the swing guard right there as we open it up. Boom. Pops out into play. There it is. And then we have this. Closes up into the handle. Becomes like a little finger choil area almost in a way. Here it is. Check it out. Soak it up. What do we think about this right here? MR204. So we got a brown stag bone on this safety folding knife. I guess the swing guards are part of the safety. You get in there behind that and you are not sliding forward onto that blade whatsoever. The blade is a 440A stainless steel right there. Clip point, nice looking, almost like small Bowie kind of a style to it. Got the Stag. We have steel on the liners and the bolster. Looks like some brass in the middle there as well. Got a little Marbles badge in the middle of that handle. Cool stuff. What do we think? This is a little different. Something you would carry. This is like a bigger, almost a fixed blade size type of a style. So when that is down, that also becomes like a lock. So that's another safety feature. So when you bring that extended piece for the blade to go into when it's closed, when that is down, this essentially does kind of become a fixed blade. I can move that forward, but once it gets to there, it can't continue to fold in because this is in the way. So that kind of acts as a lock. The swings, the guards here, they can move independently on the, I don't even know if on the real expensive versions of stuff like this, if these are ever solid. I've seen several swing guard knives and they all seem to have a little bit of play. But when you get in there and you're doing work, they're kind of locked in. I'm pushing with my thumb. They're not really going anywhere. So is that something that bothers people or you don't mind? What do we think about some swing guard designs? So blade is solid. No play right there. So we'll move that back open. Does have a half stop here. Blade is also solid in the half stop position. So this has a nice strong spring on it. It pops it out. Let me open this blade back up in case we're... So that is just a one full swing kind of a deal. But when it gets to here, then now it swings out fully that way. That is a strong spring. So it's going to be pretty much all the way out once you've got past halfway. So then when you bring the blade around, my concern would be is if this wasn't all the way out, if the blade's coming down and into that position, if this was partially closed, then the blade could hit like right up here and then maybe put a nick or something on the tip. But because of the design of this with that extra nice spring that keeps it completely out, then when you go, you got your half stop and you can just let that spring shoot into that holder section. It sits in there right in the middle. It doesn't really have any space really on either side. It's pretty close. There's not a lot of room for that to go anywhere else. And then you can throw this in your pocket, put it on a lanyard, something like that. It's a fairly stiff stiff. Well, it's not super stiff, but it's enough. It holds it in there. I wouldn't be too worried about this kind of moving around or pulling out in your pocket there. Or you put it in a big slip or a sheath, something to that effect. How would you carry this? Would you carry this? Or would you just have it in a collection? It's cool. You could leave that out, I guess, if you needed some extra leverage, but it does act as that safety lock. So when that's in there, that is going to give you that extra benefit of turning this kind of more into a fixed blade. What do we think about this design? I know Marbles has a lot of designs, a lot of knives. I haven't, actually held too many, but I've looked on their page and on some collections I've seen people have a lot of these. What's your favorite one? Too many to list, I suppose. Okay, in the fully open position, we're almost 9.5, 9 3/8 end to end. You have a 4.5, almost 4 and 5/8 inch blade. You have a 4.5 inch cutting surface with a nice curve on the belly, kind of a skinner, and 4 3/4 on the handle. It's big. Or wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. All right. Thickness, 0.1, 0.12 up at the... It's 0.1. I might have been just at a slight angle there. And then right here, it drops. But from there, it's 0.08 pretty much all the way out. And then you've got the grind. You've got this little relief cut on the top for some decoration, for some style. But 11 and about 8. So it's going to be thin enough. Like, should be a slicey blade. Ooh, it looks like it's got kind of a burr right there that I can feel and see. Yeah, I'd say the one thing I wish the swing guards were a little more solid, but having them work like that and be around and then up in here. See how they're tight when it's closed? It's like they found a way for the tolerance for that to be tight in that position. Be neat if they could make it so they kind of get locked in on that position as well. Okay, we're measuring stuff here. So handle 0.56 in the middle, I suppose, with this. Right behind the guard, 7/8. With that nub, 119, and then the thickest part back here, 104. Thickest part on the blade, just about an inch. And the battery is still going. It's never going to give us up. Never going to let us down. 6.63, decent weight for something of that size. I compare everything with the Drop Bear 3.29. So you're looking at a 6.63 on there. Sorry, my falling apart, getting old. Okay, so yeah, Kaiser Drop Bear is a great daily user, kind of a daily carry knife, same size as your Bug Out, your Pyrite, not quite full size, awesome user knife. Check them out. Handle is 1/2 inch smaller. Blade is probably 1.5 inches, maybe close to 2 inches shorter. So this Marbles is a larger knife, a little bit more in your style of your fixed blade. I've got buck 119 right here. So this is a large fixed blade, 6-inch blade on this one right here. But handle's the same size this direction. This one's much thicker that way. But blade is about 1.5 inches shorter on that. Give you a little reference, though, to the old gorgeous buck 119. Yeah, if you like fixed blades, that's a classic. Pick one up. Okay, here we are. We have done it. We got this Marbles. I usually do paper cut tests on newer knives. I've kind of been doing it on all knives, but this one here has been around. It's part of his collection. It's not that new. I can see a burr right there that needs to be fixed. But let's go ahead and have some fun anyway. Ooh. It caught a little, but look at that. That's actually, you know, I can feel it right. There's just this little spot right there. Oh, there, I could feel it as it was right there. You can see that little bump right by my finger. That was the spot. There is just that little burr that's catching. But other than that, though, this is a 9 out of 10. That is a cutting beast. Look at that. I'm surprised. I was not expecting that to be as sharp as it is, especially with that little spot I saw on there. Usually that means that we might have issues with that edge, but man, that is great. Cool stuff. All right, comment below. Let's talk about marbles. They make a lot of knives. They have a big catalog. Which ones do you have? What should I check out from them? What do we think about it? I didn't really say anything about that on there, the big old branding on the front of the blade. I'm not a fan of that. They could have had that. They got the marbles there. That's not really necessary. What do we think about that? It's a nice shiny blade though. Fun stuff either way. Thanks again to Neil. Just winding down on that box and we'll get the shit back to him. I got one more coming up here. A nice little review. Stay tuned for that. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.